Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss mindfulness, what it is, how it works, how it affects you and every single field. This is a topic that is very close to my heart. This is what the entire channel is based upon, and I am certified in mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So I'm going to assume you know nothing about mindfulness, and by the end of this video, you'll know more than most people in the world, and you'll know how it works, what it really is, and how can you use simple principles to make mindfulness work for you. Mindfulness is basically being completely present in the moment, right? And it's a moving meditation where you engage with the world while you acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. You're not judgmental, you're not labeling anything, you're just being completely present in the moment. And that is mindfulness. So I know the definition has a lot of moving parts to it, but quite simply, it's just you being completely present in the moment. Have you had those moments where the hours just pass by in a blink of an eye? When you're talking to a friend after a very long time and you're, discussing your past, or when you're listening to a really good song for the first time, or when you're watching a really good movie for the first time, you're so engrossed in the movie or the song that you don't even recognize, and the time just passes by, and you notice the clock, and you're like, where did all this time go? That is where you are mindful, and you're chasing mindfulness every single moment of your life. If you're not being mindful, you're actually being bored, and there are a few days where it feels like the time just isn't passing by, and those are the days where you're not being able to be mindful. So the problem here is that you are not controlling where you are being mindful. There are a lot of external triggers that are triggering your mindfulness, but in that case you're actually being mindful uh, where the external triggers take you. You listen to the song for the very first time and you really love it. You're completely engrossed in the song and it's amazing. You tell all your friends about it. It's an amazing song. Then you listen to it 10 times and it's pretty good still. You really like the song and you're discovering more things about it. You listen to it 50 times and the song isn't that good anymore. You don't really feel that buzz when you hear it, right? And then if you have heard a single song 100 times, it loses its charm, right? You just get bored of the same song that you were really passionate about when you heard it for the first time. Same thing happens when you watch a really good movie, right? The first time you watch a movie, it's really engaging. But as soon as you see the movie again and again and again, you just lose that buzz the movie gave you, even though it was a really good movie. But let's contrast it with something else. Let's say you were watching a movie for the very first time, but it was very predictable. You could easily make out what is going to happen next. Wasn't that exciting, was it? You see, what brought you in the moment was the skill of the scriptwriter. But more importantly, it was the anticipation and the surprise. The surprise at what might happen next kept you on your toes and kept your attention exactly there. Your awareness was completely present with the movie, and that is why you were mindful at that time. If the story was really predictable, you didn't even need to pay that much attention because you already know it was a predictable pattern and you could guess what was going to come next, and that is why you weren't present in the moment. And it wasn't fun. The movie wasn't fun because it was predictable. You see, surprise and curiosity were the key elements for you to be mindful while watching the movie. Same with the music. After you have heard a song 100 times, you exactly know where the rhythm changes, what tones are being used, where it goes into a high pitch, low pitch. You know all the intricacies of the song by heart now, so it isn't a surprise anymore. There is no curiosity there. That's why that song cannot, you know, get you back in the moment. And the surprise factor is missing, and that's why you cannot, hold your awareness with the song. Even though it's a really good song, you are used to it now. It's a familiar thing, and you're not engaged in the moment then. Right. So this is how it actually works. Just like when you're watching a movie, it's the same way uh, when you're trying to learn a skill. You know, uh, when the thing is too easy, the changes you make in your approach don't lead to any surprises, right? So there is no curiosity there. Any change you make in your approach leads to very predictable results. So it's as if to reach an acceptable level of performance, you don't even need to think. It's just second nature. So that goes into the easy compartment, right? But then there is too hard, right? So that is a place where no matter how much you change your approach, there is no significant change in results. So you can not even measure any change in the results based on your change in approach. And it feels like it's too hard. There is no use even trying. So there is no, reason for curiosity to be there, because no matter what you do, you cannot change the result. It feels like it's impossible. But between the place of too hard and too easy, there is challenge. And that's where the fun lies. Because any minute change in your approach will lead to the change in result. So, no matter which skill you're going for, if you can make these iterative changes in the process and keep seeing the results changing, that feedback loop keeps you really engaged in the moment, right? So that is where the fun lies, and that's where the zone is. That's where being mindful comes in, no matter what skill it is. If you're in the challenging phase, you're being mindful. And any skill that you practice over time, the skill gets easier, right? So you have to keep moving to the next level. You see, if you're playing tennis and if you're playing against 5-year-olds that cannot really compete with you, you won't have fun. So you need to up your game and play with people who are around the ballpark where you are at, right? And then you'll start having fun. But then if you outgrow them and if you're really good at tennis now, you need to play into the bigger leagues, right? To have that fun. You need to be strong to have fun in a game, right? That's the place, that's the sweet spot of mindfulness. All right, so now we finally use our knowledge of mindfulness and create a situation where it happens automatically for whatever task we want, right? So first things first, remove all the distractive elements around you. For every person, there are different elements that distract them. So make sure that you keep your smartphone away. Maybe unplug your internet if you have trouble working while you have the internet on. Whatever the distractive elements you have that can trigger your awareness away from the task at hand, remove them from your immediate surroundings, right? Keep your phone in the next room or whatever. The next thing you have to do is set a clear start point. So for me, it's very simple. I just take a couple of deep breaths and I get into the flow. And whatever task I have and that I, have to pursue, I just make sure that my start point is clear. So for you, all right. So now what we have to do is acknowledge the resistance that's coming up when we, get to the task. So let's say if you're trying to read a book, as soon as maybe even before you complete the first page, there'll be an inner voice coming up that is trying to stop you from doing work. It will tell you that you're thirsty. It might, try to distract you. It might try to focus your attention away from the task by, it can be anything. Maybe it's trying to say, reading the book right now is not the best use of our time. Maybe we should do something else. Um, there's this thing coming up tomorrow, and we should be worried about that instead of reading the book right now. Whatever the case may be, the resistance will always try to stop you from doing work because it is your way of trying to conserve energy and acknowledge the resistance that's coming up, but also do not identify with it. Now what we're trying to do is understand the process better. So whatever skill you have that you want to be mindful of, try to make marginal shifts in your approach and observe what effect that small marginal shift has on the results. It does not really matter if the results are much better or maybe slightly worse. All that matters is you improving your understanding of the process and trying to be more aware of the interrelationships that exist there. So, whatever the case is, just keep making small marginal shifts, and you can do this with the most mundane tasks as well. It does not matter if you're making your coffee, you're making your bed in the morning, whatever the task is, make small marginal shifts and observe the different experiences you have as a result of those marginal shifts. And this is where the curiosity comes in, where the surprise factor is there. So every time you try to make a marginal shift, you'll be mindful and you'll be completely present in the moment. Whatever process you're trying to do, make sure it has a clear end goal in mind and end the process every time you try to do this four-step method. Ending the process is really crucial because if you don't end a process, it continues to run in your mind. It's like a software program, and whenever you're not ending a process, it is continuously running in your mind throughout the day. So let's say you have to clean your dishes. If you don't clean your dishes, they stay up in your mind and you're taking them to work, and then they stay in your mind throughout the day. And when you come home, there's this another burden there. So ending a process is very crucial. So let's say you wake up in the morning, you make your bed, you're ending the process of sleep. You're not going to go to sleep again because you already made your bed, right? So have clear endpoints, just like you have clear start points, have clear endpoints. And that way you can, end the process and then move to something else. And what I find really helps out is attaching a flow activity. So for me personally, I'll listen to instrumental music every time I'm in the flow. And what happens over time is you correlate the flow activity with the process. So now what happens is every time I listen to instrumental music, I feel like I should be in the flow. And it's gimmicky. I know it sounds gimmicky, it is, but it's kind of similar to when you're happy, you smile, and when you smile, you feel happy because your brain correlates the two. So attach a flow activity. So every time you try this four-step process, make sure there is something personal to you that you do coupled with it, and over time that flow activity will help you in the process as well. So I think that's about it. This was a brief crash course on mindfulness, and if you liked it, please like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. That's it for today. Have a good day and good life. Thank you.